So people online were calling comedian Bill Burr racist. So Amber posted this nice picture of him and his wife, which would supposedly shut down any conversation of him actually being racist. But everybody knows that verified Twitter accounts with low followings are not normal people. So our friend here, Claiborne Griffin, responded to the tweet by saying, "While I'm not suggesting Bill Burr is racist, a white man having a non-white wife can sometimes be a sign of racism. You shouldn't assume someone is racist just because they own a minority sex servant. They may very well have one because they are racist." And this tweet got an insane like-to-quote tweet ratio. The most impressive one I've seen in a very long time. Which makes sense because this isn't just your typical bad Twitter take. But it's a tweet that when you see it, it really makes you question the progression of society. There's always that moment in your life where you're like, are we really smarter than when we were bashing sticks and stones as cavemen? And this is one of them for me. Like, I am legitimately questioning and curious about the events that led up in this man's life in order for him to think up, type this tweet, and actually believe it. Just the sentence itself. So you shouldn't assume someone isn't racist just because they own a minority sex servant. In response to this image with this caption, just puts into question this man's entire mindset. He either has to be racist himself or extremely stupid. Which I'm guessing is the latter, considering most racists on Twitter will resort to racial slurs. That or it's a troll post, but considering how he's hiding all of his responses on his other tweets, I somewhat doubt it. I'm the type of person that, even though I heavily disagree with someone's take, I always at least want to try and attempt to see what their mindset is, which led up to this being posted, which normally I can do without too much headache, but in this case, it just completely boggles my mind, because the only two ways this sentence could be a reality results in Bill being an extortionist, or Nia having absolutely zero self-respect and zero self-agency as a person, which to think that just based on this picture would indeed be racist. There is absolutely no self-respecting woman who would marry someone who legitimately hates the color of their skin and only wants to be with you to satisfy a sexual fetish of wanting to quote-unquote own a minority sex servant. If his argument was that white men can have sex with black women and still be racist, he would maybe have a point here. But this is someone who married Bill Burr. This is someone who introduces Bill Burr to their family. You really think Nia would introduce a racist to her family, just bringing home this guy who, as soon as he goes in the room, is just seething with anger and ready to say the N-word at a moment's notice? And that's not even mentioning the more obvious and intimate choice of personally wanting to spend the rest of your life with someone who will never truly love you fully due to the color of your skin. The only way that would ever happen is if for some bizarre reason, Nina just has absolutely no self-respect, like it was just siphoned out of her brain, that entire mental concept, or if Bill Burr was extorting her or trapping her into marrying him, which at that point, there's more to question about Bill Burr than him being a racist. So for Claiborne to even suggest that this could be a possibility, he would have to think one of those two things, which would either be racist and sexist for thinking that Nia can have no agency over Bill Burr because he's a white man and she's a black woman, or that Bill Burr is a racist psychopath who is trapping a black woman into an unwanted marriage just so he can own his own minority sex servant. Just that sentence in general, minority sex servant, is just so ridiculous. Like, legitimately, how do you look at this image of this happy couple and even conjure those words into your head? It's just ridiculous. And the cherry on top of this entire tweet is that he's saying people shouldn't assume, but in order for this sentence to be a reality, you have to have some very extreme assumptions of either Nia or Bill. But as you can tell by the quote tweets, obviously, practically nobody agreed with Claiborne here. Zuby responded to him by saying, "Well done, worst tweet ever, and the competition is tough. You won. You can delete your account now." You know, you'd think he's being hyperbolic here, but honestly, I can't think of a worse tweet in recent memory than the one I just read by Claiborne. Mama says, "Exactly why I hate wokeness. Because you think anyone anyone from minority in the West has no agency, that we are so weak that we can't stand up for ourselves, that we can't hold complicated ideas. Go solve your own insecurities rather than finding new ways of calling others a racist. Young Crip responds to Claiborne by saying, he's married to a black woman. He's not Jefferson secretly fucking a slave on the side whenever he pisses off his actual wife. Jesus Christ, dude, lol. Big Bad Wolf says, I have been proven time and time again that the woke crowd tends to have more racist notions than that of the ones they accuse of racism. Right Girl Problem says, one of the things that makes racism wrong is the dehumanization of a person. Yet this take, that someone cannot love and knit their life with a human of another ethnicity without it being oppressively transactional, is as ugly a dehumanization as racism is. Disgusting suggestion. Lady Pearl responds by saying, I'm not racist like Bill Burr, I'm just saying that married women of color are actually owned as sex servants. Luke Thompson responds to Claiborne by saying, well, that's one of the most racist things I've ever heard. I realize this might sound flippant, but I'm serious. You have to be extraordinarily racist to believe the things Griffin does. James Lindsay says, whatever you have to say so that you and your side aren't absurdly wrong, bruh. Am I right? Goose Master responds to Claiborne by saying, this literally made my day. It's comforting though. No matter what I do in life, I will never string together a collection of words in this completely boneheaded, stupid way this guy did. It's mesmerizing, actually. He thought it through, wrote it out, and let it go free. Chin Music responds by saying, you have to think his ideological world has taken some hits, and he's just swinging for the fences. Ian Miles Chung responds to Claiborne by saying, dude, you suck. People in interracial relationships struggle enough with ignorant perceptions without you adding to it. He then quote tweets him and says, behold, an actual racist. Moodhar quote tweets him and says, I wake up and read the most brain-dead shit sometimes, laughing my ass off. Demp McGee says, this is the mountaintop of shitty tweets. Sour Patch Princess says, it is beyond time to start ignoring these people outright. Nick Searchy says, dealing with this level of stupidity and racial hatred is pointless. People like Claiborne are lost. Shun them. John Cardleo says, these people get more insane by the day. That Star Wars girl says, this creep just referred to Nia as a sex servant because she's married to a man he's deemed racist, and her being happily married to him breaks his narrative so he has to dehumanize her. I think know who the true sexist/racist is here, and it's not Bill Burr. Noah's mom says, in what world would a racist marry a person of color? Seriously, explain it to me. You can't, because you're a dumbass. Kurt Schlitcher says, much like everything is evidence of climate change, everything is evidence of racism. So screw these people. Nia then responds directly to Claiborne and says, bitch, shut the fuck up. To which he responds, as I mentioned, I'm not referring to you or Bill. I don't know you two. Wow, what a fucking cop-out. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? The fact that people like this actually exist is just completely mind-blowing to me and makes me lose some faith in humanity. But what do you guys think about this insane situation? If you could leave your thoughts in the comment section below, I would appreciate that, as I am genuinely curious what you think. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like on it. Thank you so much to my channel members for supporting the channel. In particular, Scrubby, who decided to donate $100 a month. That is absolutely insane. Thank you so much, dude. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in another video.